The Map by Ruba Qewar. Targeting the Muslims in the United States of America. Muslims in the US are almost 2% of the country's population. However, some people think that this small group of people will dominate the world soon, and it is such an Islamophobic ideology that tries to scare people and spread racism amongst them. It is true, however, that Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world and in the US. There are Christian and non-Christian organizations trying to stop and prevent the increase, either by evangelism or spreading Islamophobic slanderous messages and misconceptions against Islamic teachings. Most Muslims who live in the US are immigrants, students, and second and third generation citizens that were born in the US, in addition to the Muslim converts. Christian missionaries work on evangelizing people and usually divide Muslims into three types: 1. Refugees, 2. Foreign students, 3. General population, using media. First, refugees. The U.S. provides asylum to those who were exposed to religious, ethnic, or political persecution by two methods: refugees who come from outside the country and asylum seekers that stay within the country. In 2011, more than 56,384 refugees arrived in the U.S., mostly from Burma, Bhutan, and Iraq. The refugees are usually found in states such as Texas and California, and it is known that these states are part of the Bible Belt, meaning these areas are very active in evangelism. It's known that most of the refugees are from Muslim backgrounds and underage, which gives a greater opportunity for them to fall into the deception of evangelism, because the younger people are more receptive to the change. Most of the refugees came to save themselves from war or poverty after they were traumatized and then needing lots of care. There are Christian missionaries who go to the airport to receive the refugees and are the first smiling faces they see and meet, and are thrilled with the missionaries' positive attitudes. The refugees are provided homes, helped to process their immigration statuses, and they get transportation to buy the things they need. Christian missionaries offer ESL classes, entertainment programs for the children such as art, music, sports, etc. These activities are mostly held in apartment complexes or at the evangelical churches. Most of the refugees are only Muslims by identity and barely practice their religion, so it's easy for the Christian missionaries to manipulate them by using loving and extremely careful attitudes towards them, which make the refugees feel in awe of the missionaries and are most likely to respond to them easily. Private and governmental sector cooperation. The structure of the resettlement program for the refugees is based on the cooperative between the government and the qualified private organizations. Many of these private organizations belong to Christian congregations such as Church World Service, Episcopal, Migration Ministries, Catholic Charities, Refugee Services, Lutheran Immigration, and others. In order for the government to fund the private organizations, their policies must prohibit any evangelism and to guarantee the religious freedom for the new arrivals. In many cases, the refugees come to the U.S. because of a religious persecution in their home country. There are many churches that commit strictly to this policy. However, that does not mean the Christian organizations are not able to evangelize people. Simply put, it just means that churches cannot use evangelism in a direct way with the refugees. For example, it is not permissible to pray in front of the refugees, but the priority of the organization should be loving and taking care of them. How does the church help in evangelizing people? Pastor Gasly from the Lutheran Church confirms that there are 5 effective ways which help the refugees, which isn't a form of worship. support through special offices and organizations set up for refugees, making them a priority in every Christian evangelical home. Each home should have the flexibility to support the refugees financially and emotionally. The denomination cooperates in resettling the refugees by establishing a special agent for them, donating home furnishings and goods for their resettlement, calling people to fundraise and send message to the resettlement group program of the refugees and to the members of Congress.